Welcome back to Tanares Adventures and Arena of the Contest. Flank06 here doing our 6th reveal video for new heroes coming to the game. And anyway, today is special in the way that it is a Halloween themed hero reveal as we close in here on the last few heroes. And let's see what those three potentially related a little bit to Halloween could be. All right, here we go. All right, so our three new heroes for this week is Magenta, the witch hunter, who is a tactician, Gazini, the ancient vampire, who is a controller, and Colette, the summoner, who is a commander with her mummy character. So hopefully you can kind of get a little bit of idea where I was thinking with that. But anyway, let's just jump right into our first hero, Magenta, the witch hunter. So Magenta is a pretty interesting character, mostly because of her main mechanics, which is going to be tied to this alchemy box special attack. So we're going to go over that first. So alchemy box, range 8, one enemy. Benefit: this attack cannot be removed, negated, copied, or regained. Shuffle a face down deck with all flasks in the game and not in your hand. Do it again if it ever runs out of cards, and draw 3 flask cards. The deck remains in the game and only you can ever draw from it. And then you will do 24 damage on hit if you get that. So this is a benefit, which means you get this no matter what. As soon as you declare this ability, you will get this flask deck here, which is the same flask deck that comes with Arena of the Contest. And you will just build this deck here, shuffle it up, and then it'll be tied in here to these other abilities. So let's go to the first one, Arcane Justice, range 1, one enemy. Benefit: choose one, you move 2, or forego the rest of this attack to use one of your flasks with a +2 to all its rolls. So really the real crux of this one here is you're using a flask instead of going through with the rest of the attack. So you're either, pulling out whatever this is. In this case, there's a potion of life, which really may not help you in that one, but you could have one like Elemental Essence, where you get all enemies in a straight line and 10 damage per hit, and you'd play through that as you normally would for the attack, instead of 12 damage on hit plus the effect of drawing a flask if a deck was assembled via the special attack alchemy box, which we just discussed. So that's what you're doing. You're either getting 12 damage and getting a flask, or you're consuming one of your flasks and using that ability instead. But you get a +2 to all the rolls. So Elemental Essence, for example, that's a pretty good one. If you can line up multiple people in your shot, you're going to get a +2 to each time you roll through each of the characters that are in that line. Anyway, so that is a pretty awesome ability. You're getting another flask there if you go with the normal ability, and 12 damage on hit. That's definitely not too bad. And then you can choose that move action to get a little movement there. All right, moving on to Miraculous Potion, range 2, one enemy. Benefit: this attack can't be interrupted by enemies, which is very good because it's a pretty dang powerful heal here. So 9 damage on hit. You may discard up to 2 flasks in your hand, so you have to have them already in your hand. Heal 5 to a hero, plus 2 more health per flask discarded by this attack, which of course then that means you are getting 9 health if you discard 2 flasks to another hero, plus that 9 damage on hit. That is a huge attack. I mean, 18 there. There's even the Brutes, one of them from like last week, I believe, had a 17. So this is even a little bit better than that. So very powerful ability, but you got to give up some flasks to get the full ability. So really, you gotta save up those cards and use them at the right time to get a powerful heal. All right, let's move on to the last special here. So this is an interrupt ability called Flash Elixir. It works a little bit different. It's what I classify as a friendly interrupt. So you are declaring, you are interrupting one of your allies' turns, and you are interrupting their attack. So you will do 0 damage on the effect on the hit, which of course is what you would want. But then you get the effect of the target will gain +3 to its first attack roll. So +3 is basically an insanely powerful benefit to your roll. Usually it's +2 or +1, but +3 is very, very rare. And then that hero gets to heal 15. So or, well, actually, I guess it's not even that one. It says heal 15 a hero, so you could do a different hero if you want. But anyway, so it is still that is a very powerful, like, kind of beneficial one, especially when you know that you're going to need that ally character to get a shot, maybe kill somebody off or something, or someone's getting low. And you kind of jump in there real quick to get that heal and get the benefit to those rolls. So anyway, that is Magenta, very tied into using flasks and then helping her allies. And she has, especially for a tactician, but even if you compare her to her healer, she is probably like one of the better healer characters, I would say. Very strong heals with these abilities. So overall, a fantastic tactician character, Magenta the Witch Hunter. And she is coming in the Tanares Adventures box. All right, so let's jump into Gazini, the Ancient Vampire, who is the main boss in the second quest of the Arena of the Contest campaign. And now he is a playable hero character. And I believe, he's part of the villain pack of the Tanares RPG campaign. So if you liked, I know there was a bunch of people that messaged me how they liked Cordal. This one's definitely a little different, but some similarities to Cordal. So we'll first look at his primaries. So we got Blood Drain, range 8, 1 enemy. Benefit: if no other combatant is within 1 of the enemy, it is exposed to this attack. So basically you're getting a free exposed, which reduces the defense of that character by 3. And then you will do 8 damage if you get that hit there. And then you heal 6. So for a controller character, that is actually, I think, probably one of the strongest primary heals that a controller can get. So that is a very, very good ability, especially getting that exposed in there. All right, moving on to Crimson Rupture, range 8, 1 enemy, 7 damage on hit, plus the effect: the target is bleeding 2, ends if used. Remember, bleeding is that one where they will take damage for each square that they move. So the idea is to try to prevent them from moving too much. If that's your goal, or that's the enemy's way of trying to get out of it. But otherwise, if they need to move a lot, they are going to take a lot of damage from that bleeding. So another very controlling type effect from Gazini here. All right, Bloody Mist. Here we go. Range 8, 1 enemy, 22 damage on hit, plus the effect: place yourself within range 1 square of the target, and the next strike against you automatically misses, but it can still deal residual damage, ends if used. So this one's pretty interesting because there is some other characters that get some, I think like Necrawl has an ability similar to this where he's kind of like teleporting or somebody gets pulled. In this case, Gazini's basically teleporting on top of the enemy, and then he gets a free chance to miss a strike, which is can be very powerful for PvP. I mean, especially Gazini. Since he is a controller character, his abilities are ranged. He doesn't necessarily want to be right in the melee action, but kind of getting closer is something most controllers want. They want to be within that area so they can get their despair. But anyway, pretty cool ability, Bloody Mist there. Moving on to Call of the Night. This is probably the most Cordalish ability here. Range 8, 1 enemy. Benefit: this attack cannot be copied. 13 damage on hit, plus the effect: place up to 2 spider figures on valid squares in your vision at the edge of the grid and 10 squares or more away from each other. Let me finish the rest of this and then we'll talk about it. Permanent. When your turn begins, each spider moves 3. You may remove 1 to deal 13 damage to an enemy in range 1 of it, or in 1 square of it. So, Call of the Night. Basically, why it seems a little bit weird is the idea is you're calling to these bats that are outside of the battlefield, basically, and you get 2 of them that will be pretty much near the edge as far away as possible, but then you have to split them up a significant amount. Now, obviously, that's because when you essentially make these spiders explode, pretty much. You're removing that spider, and then you get to deal 13 damage to that enemy. So if you got to place them near each other, you could essentially do 26 damage very quickly on top of an enemy. That's, you're gonna basically, the enemy's gonna want to try to get away from these spiders. Most likely, they do follow the same kind of rules as Cordals, where they are not combatants or allies, and there's only the max of 2. And then tying into the campaign, remove them from the grid if a villain dark surges. But they do both kind of work in that same way, that they'll take a spot, but they won't on the grid, but they don't like impede anybody's movement. Like an enemy can walk through them if they don't land on that same space. But anyway, Call of the Night, pretty interesting ability. Getting these 2 spiders that basically can blow up on your enemies, and Gazini with some cool controlling abilities and some heals. Like I said, from the villain pack of Tanares RPG. All right, now the last hero for tonight, Colette the Summoner, who is a commander, and of course from Tanares Adventures. So we'll first look here at her pet. So the Mummy with a basic attack 4, 5 movement, 6 defense, 4 reaction. At the end of your turn, you may transfer up to 4 hit points from you to an ally in 2 squares of the Mummy. So the Mummy is going to be pumping out some heals. Well, not directly heals. He's going to be stealing your health to give it to other allies. So you'll see that this character is actually a very strong healer character, especially when you compare it to the other commanders. So let's jump into it. So Call of the Tombs, range 8, 1 enemy. Benefit, if the target is valid, you may place the Mummy within 1 square of it. So basically just pop that Mummy right where you want them to be on the enemy, and then you can do 9 damage plus the effect. The target is cursed once per turn. Of course, once per turn is better than the ends if used. So good debuffing ability there, but basically you're getting that Mummy into a position which is going to be important later here. Path of the Sands, range 8, 1 enemy. Drawback, you cannot move this turn after this attack resolves. So you need to make sure to get your movement in before you do this ability, otherwise you are not going anywhere. So 6 damage on hit plus the effect. Move to the Mummy, then it may swap places with you or an ally, and then heal 6 to a hero. So this one you're going to be able to position yourself or allies into better locations, which of course is going to help you set up that Mummy ability better here, and even more here once we get on to this next ability. Kiss of the Sphinx, range 8, 1 ally, 0 damage on hit plus the effect of heal 16 to the target. So you get 16 healing there. Then a hero within 8 squares of the Mummy heals 2 per square it is away from the Mummy. So pretty much you can get up to 16 health here. So in total, you're getting 32 total health if you can maximize that range. Interestingly enough, the next ability is very tied to, or very similar to this one. Permanent, the mummy may forego its prime action to heal 6 to an ally in range 1 or 1 square of it. So the mummy can really turn into a healing machine between getting this permanent ability and using the special feature here of the mummy character by stealing your health. You could essentially get up to that 10 health to an ally. Obviously, it's going to be transferring from you. So you got to be making sure to get plenty of health for this character so they can keep transferring it. So in some ways, it's kind of similar to Askren, who had a lot of he had this like exalted strike where he could transfer up to 10 hit points from himself to allies. It's a super powerful heal. I think probably the most powerful heal in, or primary heal in the game. But you're giving that up out of your character. So in some ways it's similar to that, but you gotta keep Colette with plenty of health there. All right, similar to that one, let's move on to Ancient Plague, range 8, one enemy, 16 damage on hit, plus the effect. An enemy in range 8 of the mummy takes 2 damage per square it is away from the mummy. The mummy's attacks skip rolls and always hit. So basically, in some ways, I'd almost say that this is like an opposite of Kiss of the Sphinx. You're pretty much choosing between trying to do more damage with Ancient Plague and getting that damage on hit, then the keeping the mummy as far from the enemy as possible, and they'll do more damage there. And then, of course, being able to just always hit, not have to roll at all for the mummy character, versus this other one, you're going to forego a prime action to get some healing. And then, of course, you have the healing part of that as well. But so interesting character here. Lots of healing potential. Very, very position-focused character. The positioning is super vital between the mummy's special ability and basically every single ability is tied into the movement or positioning of the characters. So that's going to make this character definitely a lot more challenging, I'd say, for maybe newer players. So if you're a little uncertain, this one may not be the best character to start with. But, you know, if Colette is interesting to you, definitely go for it. I think she's an awesome character. I can't wait to see how people will use her, just because her abilities are pretty unique and that positioning is just so vital with this character. Much like many of the other commanders, but even more so, I believe, with her. So that is it for today. We have Magenta the Witch Hunter, the Tactician, Gazini the Ancient Vampire, the Controller, and Colette the Summoner, the Commander, are Halloween-themed heroes. Not really, but I just happened to have these 3 be revealed today. So hope you guys like this. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe in my videos, and I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, make sure to check out the upcoming live stream I have coming on November 5th at 10 a.m. Central Time. I will be getting started. I don't have an exact end time because it kind of just depends on how long things go, but I expect probably about 5-6 hours or so. I'll be playing Arena of the Contest, Tanares Adventures, and playing the campaign and doing some PvP. So anyway, we will see you at the next one.